Awesome. Hey, everyone. Jeff Barnes here with Angel Investors Network. Thanks so much for being here today. Really appreciate you guys checking in. So, I have with me a friend and someone who's going to be coming to our Business Well Summit here in Nashville, Eric Rogell. Eric, how are you doing today?
Great, Jeff, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Really looking forward to this. Now, Eric, you and I have known each other for a few years now, and I've had a chance to come to some of your Bold Man initiatives, masterminds online, and learn a little bit more about you. And we're
Yeah.
hosting our Business Well Summit May 29th through 31st at the end of this month up in Nashville. And we said this would be a great fit for you to come and talk about what it is you do. And it really, I think, is a perfect fit for our audience. It's going to be learning about, creating wealth with businesses. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's going to be a lot of fun coming up to the event and talking. There's so many different ways we can go. What we're going to talk about is, one of the things I do in the Boldman Initiative is we talk about living lion-hearted. So I say you can live, you can lead, you can love lion-hearted. And what that really is using both sides of us. In my work, we have what we call the four foundational archetypes: the warrior, the lover, the king, the hero. And when you take the warrior side and the lover side, which is the heart side, and you integrate those, you're living from king. But we also call that living lion hearted. It's a great reminder to use both of those sides. And when you're building a business, when you're training teams, when you are being a leader in anything, that's really where you want to come from. You want to come from being lion-hearted. So when we're at this event in Nashville, we're going to dive deep into that, man, and it's going to be amazing. You're going to have so many strategies that you can use with yourself, with your team, with your business to help everybody grow, help your business grow, help you thrive and move forward. So we're going to have a blast, man.
I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I've got to ask you. So you've written this book, "Lions Raises Lambs." We'll get into that in just a moment.
Sure.
But one of the things that I really like, and I resonate with you, is around your messaging, is that like you said, there's different types of leaders when it comes to running a business and just being out in front of any type of organization. I mean, even if you're an athlete or you're running a sports team, or if you're running a business, even if you're in politics, right? But the fact is that not everybody can be each one of those archetypes. In fact, I think people need to learn this process. But by learning this process, and also through the readings of your book, it helps, I think, especially men, understand how they can be better leaders. So could you tell people a little bit about the book and where this kind of impetus and this idea came from?
Yeah, I appreciate that. The book, Lions Raised as Lambs, is really my story. And what's interesting is when men read this book, they're like, dude, you're telling my story. This sounds like me. And so many of us grew up this way. We are essentially lions. We're beasts. We have this in our heart, but we're raised to kind of tamp that down, keep it down, not express that side of us. Especially in today's society, it seems that it's frowned upon. And this causes a lot of problems with a lot of men. There's a lot of frustration and anxiety and anger and rage and all of these things around not being able to express yourself in this way. So the book, Lions Raised as Lambs, is really about men who are raised to kind of deny that side of ourselves, deny that beast side of ourselves that we all have. And it's very healthy. And there is a right and ideal and healthy way to express that side of us. And that's really what the book is about. And in it, it was written by myself and my mentor, Rob James. And Rob was raised very differently than I was raised. See, and in the book, I talk about being raised one of two ways. You can either be raised in a culture of fear or a culture of courage. I was raised, and a lot of men who've read the book tell me this is how they were raised, in a culture of fear. Everything was going to hurt me. Everything was going to kill me. Don't stand out. Don't, step up. Stay small. Don't make waves. Don't be loud. Don't be masculine. All of these things. Rob was raised in a culture of courage, which was you can do anything. We're going to be here to support you. A lot of encouragement, a lot of inspiration, a lot of self-belief. And so really the book is about going from being raised in that culture of fear and going into the culture of courage. Now, how does this relate to leadership? And what we're going to talk about at the event. So many of us were raised this way. We're uncomfortable pushing through into courage. Well, in order to be a great leader, you have to have courage yourself, and you have to be able to encourage, and we'll break that word down into encourage, the people that are around you to step into their courage and live that way. And so, in speaking to men, we'll just use that for right now. The archetype that we talk about as that leader is the king. And that is the integration of your warrior side, which is your drive, your ambition, your boldness, your courage, your leadership, being a visionary, being a maverick, being adventurous and risk taking. All of those things is on our warrior side. And then the lover side, which is the heart side, which is things like wisdom and creativity and playfulness and generosity and trust, honesty, all of those things, inspiration. That's our heart side. We need them both. So when you can integrate that warrior side, that lover side, you're living as king. That's why I use lion-hearted as a way to remember it, lion-hearted, and being a lion-hearted leader. And I'll tell you, Jeff, what's really interesting is I've given this talk to thousands of people and interviewed thousands of people. And one of the things that I found is no two people are the same king archetype or queen archetype when I do this with women. No two are the same. So when we talk about being a leader, I will never tell you you have to lead this way. This is what makes a leader. Do this. The only thing that I will tell you is to lead lion-hearted. When you lead from your warrior and your lover, you will be an ideal leader. And like I said, no two look the same. So you will define that for yourself. And when we do the event in Nashville, Jeff, we're going to do that with the audience. We're going to have them set their ideal king or queen and who they are as a leader, and then remind them to lead that way from their lion heart. And it really blows people's minds. It's really different and unique. And for a lot of people who are, I don't want to say afraid of leadership, but there are some people who are kind of resistant to being a leader, either, in imposter syndrome. They don't think they have the skills necessary, or they're not commanding enough to be a leader. They really fall into their own. They're like, wow, I can lead my way. This is my warrior. This is my lover. This is how I am as a king or queen. This is how I lead lion-hearted. And it really will accelerate everyone. And then it's all about making kings and queens all around you on your team. So you can really share this with the people on your team too. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Beautiful. I love it. I'm really looking forward to it, Eric. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for other people to experience this and go along this with you. And, there's just something about being in a room and learning from the expert, from the master, for one, but learning something completely different that they may not have thought about experiencing, and how that's going to change their lives. And that's one of the things I absolutely love about being in person, being live with folks, is that they come in thinking they're going to learn something and they're going to do one thing, and they leave completely transformed, right? Because the stuff and the people that we bring up on stage are literally going to give them a new paradigm to think through and think about. And I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. You got some great people lined up for this event. And I go to these events, even when I'm speaking, is I learn something every time.
Absolutely.
I learn something new every time I'm there. I pick up at least one or two, great little things. And here's one of the things that I would say too, and this is something that I had to learn from experience, is that if you're coming to this event, or if you think, oh, I've seen that speaker, I've heard this, or I know all about that, look, give your know-it-all the day off. We say this in the Bold Men Brotherhood. It's one of our 5 rules of engagement. One of them is give your know-it-all the night off. You may have heard something before, or think you've heard this before, but you may catch it a little differently this time. You're a different person this time than you were when you may have heard it previously. So if you open up your eyes, open up your ears, and just listen fresh, listen with new eyes, listen with new ears, and experience it totally new, you'll get some new nugget out of it, I promise. So don't let that hold you back from wanting to come to the event. You will get something from every single speaker that's there, whether you've heard it before or not.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Eric. I agree. Nothing can be, more detrimental to an individual as to thinking they know it all, right? I learn something new every single time I put on one of my own events. And one of the things I tell people for the last, dozen years or so, I've been involved with some of the most innovative, tech-driven companies on the bleeding edge of innovation. And just when I think I've seen everything, I go to another event that we host, and people bring something in, and it blows my mind every time. And so the knowledge, the wisdom, the new ideas that are going to come out of this, it's all going to be amazing. I really look forward to it. So what I want to do right now, anybody who's watching this, or even if you're seeing it as a replay, put Nashville in the comments. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to give away a ticket to somebody, just a random drawing, and give away a ticket to somebody to come out to us, to Nashville, meet us, get a chance to meet Eric. I'm really looking forward to it. Eric, can't wait to see you there. It's only a few weeks away. I can't believe we've been planning this for months, and now we're just like 3 weeks away and ready to rock and roll. So thanks so much for being a part of this, and looking forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely, man. It was an honor. I can't wait to be there in Nashville, meet everybody. And we're going to make sure that we really drop a lot of value on you and a ton of wisdom, what I call wisdom bombs. We'll drop some wisdom bombs on you and get you guys moving forward fast.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thanks, everyone, for being here. We look forward to seeing you in Nashville. And if you want any more information, just go to angelinvestorsnetwork.com and look at the events tab. Take care.